eh?
I think they like the film.
Even I found the ending a bit... But actually, this is only the third time I have seen this movie.
What was the first time?
The first time was probably sometime in the 70s. And the next time was when I took my youngest son, 2014.
What did you think of the film?
I thought it was amazing. I'm old enough to be able to look away and look at it as a movie and not look at me, because that's not me. This is me.
I know everyone here will have a ton of questions, but before I throw it open to them, just let them sit for a second. How did you get involved with the Wicker Man in the first place?
Well, the way all actors do, you got an agent, they call you up and say, listen, we have this offer. It's not good. But, okay, I'll do it. I have bills to pay.
And what was it like working with Robin Hardy and Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward?
Robin and I had not a fantastic relationship. Robin had his own problems. He had a bad heart, as I'm sure everyone knows. It's no secrets here. We've probably seen many. How many copies of the film has it been? I mean, how many DVDs and...
So many I've lost count.
See, I don't know either. I think I can absolutely say infinitely that this was probably the location of hell.
That was going to be my next question. I read somewhere that you found out you were pregnant during the shoot.
I did. And can you imagine to be pregnant and walk in these moors and on that beach every day from 7:30 in the morning until, well, this was shot in end of October, beginning November, so the light would probably go down around 5-ish.
And cold, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But I'm surprised that we all looked so very lovely. Well, we had long johns under, of course.
I think it's a testament to everyone's skills to act.
I hope so.
And was there a point at which you realized the longevity of this film? You know, it's endured so many years, and it's still, you know, here we are in 2023 in a room full of people, and they all still love it.
No. No, you know, as I said in the beginning, it was a job, not particularly well paid, but it was a job, and, you know, if you're an actor, you just take the job, unless it's horrible, and it wasn't that horrible. No, and you know, as I was pregnant, I couldn't promote the film because the film was edited and put out very quickly, and I was very pregnant. My son was born in June, so whenever they wanted me, I was not available. So I did nothing. I mean, nothing. And no one really cared. I mean, the film just didn't go anywhere until, I guess, when it was paired up with the Donald Sutherland.
Don't Look Now.
Yeah, Don't Look Now. Then it started to kind of get a little bit of titter in the newspapers, but not big enough to make it go anywhere. And I really don't know when it took off, actually. I know that probably in the early 90s, when I lived on and off in London my whole life, and there was it's a little magazine called Time Out, and they voted 2 of my movies amongst the 100 best. And one was The Wicker Man, you guess what the album was? And no, it wasn't that one.
I could guess.
All right.
Get Carter.
You're right. Michael Caine.
You had a pretty amazing career, I have to say.
Yeah. If you say so.
All right.
But listen, at least I'm still here.
I'm going to slowly open it to the room. Does anyone have any? Right, let's start there.
Willow is such a great role to play, especially in the early 70s. Did you feel like you were doing anything groundbreaking or particularly outgoing in taking such a part?
I have to be perfectly honest with you. I think that I just spent just under 2 months being absolutely mortified every day.
There's a question there. That's all you're getting. Yes.
Oh my God! I admire you so much. You're so beautiful still, and I know like of course your role. I know that it was a job for you, but you know sometimes you do something and it impacts a lot of people. But I was wondering because you're Swedish, right?
Yeah.
And I was wondering because it draws a lot on like pagan lines of stuff that then they were revisited in Midsummer. I don't know if you've watched Midsummer. That it's a movie that kind of reflects Wicker Man, but brings it to Sweden. So I was just really curious if you watched this and if like you know if it strung any like ancient chords in you of like.
No. However, if you follow my Instagram, well, then you know that I put out a picture of how we celebrate Midsummer and made a comparison to Midsummer, the movie, and the Wicker Man. However, that was in present days, not at the time I did it. No.
One right there.
So my question is about the music. Obviously, the songs, the music of The Wicker Man had a huge impact. It's been called a horror musical. When you were performing your song and also performing the songs in the context of the film, did you have any understanding? Like, did you just say, "Oh, it's another day on set. I'm learning this song. I'm doing this naked dance," or did you kind of feel like there was something stronger than that when you were making the film?
God, I could give you a fabulous answer. No. You know, that's almost as asking someone who's just been portrayed making, you know, insane, fantastic love with someone. You know what I mean?
Bit like Don't Look Now. There's one there.
Hi, thank you for coming here. I just had a question about the final scene where it's like lit at the golden hour and they have the sunset behind the Wicker Man, and I was wondering if the atmosphere was intense, if you guys had like one shot, or what it was like that day on the set for all of you guys.
Trust me, the ending was a one-shot wonder. It was pretty, I mean, it was not only the end of the movie, it was the end of filming, because once the Wicker Man was gone, our goal was disrupted. You know, and you felt very it was very intense, and it was getting very, very late, so it was hard to shoot. There were lights that you couldn't see, and everyone really, they were kind of moved, but in a way that we really want to move out of here.
Let's wonder.
I liked Mrs. Morrison. I think she was wicked and very English. Well, Scottish, okay. But I loved when she stuck the frog in the mouth of this child and told the child that the frog has taken your cold or your throat. Gosh, if we could do that today. What a great grandmother I would be. Not.
Sorry. Right there.
Do you have any stories of working with Christopher Lee on either this film, Wicker Man, or Man with the Golden Gun?
Well, Christopher Lee was a very, very serious actor. And this was his favorite film ever. He always said that. He was an opera singer, and hence his beautiful singing with the piano. He was not someone that fooled around on set. He turned up, did his job, and went home to his Danish wife. And you know what the problem with that was? Denmark and Sweden are very close, and although our languages are not the same, if you speak Swedish and you speak Danish, we do understand each other. So later on, when I did The Man with the Golden Gun with Maud Adams, who is also Swedish, we thought that she and we could just talk about anything, you know. And Birgitte, his Danish wife, he would say to us, you know that Birgitte, she tells me everything. So we could never use our real language around him. We just spoke English.
There was a question there that we got.
He had my question about Christopher Lee, so
Okay, that's good. Somehow, synchronicity, right here. I didn't. Could you say it a little louder? What are your thoughts on Burning Man? The festival? He's the youngest fan we have, 10 years old, so you have to answer this one. What are your thoughts on Burning Man, the festival? Do you know Burning Man? This is going to have to be a part of a longer discussion some other time, I'm afraid.
What do you think the Burning Man, how do you think it happened?
That's a perfect answer as any. Right there.
Keep any masks or props from the movie?
Thankfully not.
There's one right at the back, yes.
yes. I'm going to go ahead and ask a question I'm sure that everybody wants to ask. Did you see the Nicolas Cage remake? And what are your thoughts on it?
No. But my very, very close friend was his makeup woman. So she showed me the script. As we all know, the movie went straight to VHS. Not even DVD.
Oh, I'm going to go right to the back again.
Yeah, so obviously you played a Bond girl in kind of the climate we're in, like the way women are portrayed in Bond movies is kind of under consideration, and that's something that's a big conversation with people about it. Been having surrounding those movies. I'm curious, like, what do you want to see out of the way that women are portrayed in James Bond films going forward in the future?
So the question is, what do you want to see going forward, women portrayed in Bond movies, because this is a climate of change?
Do I have to feel anything?
Moving on. Right there.
For this film, if your eyes were open, you would see that as women, none of us wore a bra.
I'm gonna go right to the back there.
I was absolutely fascinated to hear that during this film that's all about like fertility themes, that you found out you were pregnant. I was wondering if you could share any other story about that, like if you were concerned during your shots or how that affected you.
It did affect me. My skirts had to be let out. No, not really. I just had to do my job and not let anyone know, and try to stay healthy. And no, I mean, actually, you know, now when we're talking about it here, and all these years that this film has been around and I have been around, I never even thought of that.
Let's see. It's right back there.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I love the night they raided Minsky's. What was it like working with Friedkin?
I loved Billy. He was tough, but we became super friends. And he used to come to London, and every time he came to London, we got together and went and had dinner. I truly, truly loved him. He was a young person. I think he was 26 or 27 when he did this movie, and I was 23, maybe 24. He was very young and very, very, very strong, very disciplined, he was like, he knew what he wanted, and he got it. He got it. I thought it was a great film myself.
It is. It's a terrific film.
However, no, this is not. Again, you know, the breasts that you see in the movie, The Night They Raided Minsky's, are not mine. Because I was married to a man called Peter Sellers. And he would not allow me to show my breasts.
We have time for maybe one or two more. We could keep this going a long time. We'll go there.
I think you just have to say yes. Once, you know, I guess in my career, we could not afford to say no, because if you said no, you were never offered anything again. So, yeah, you do a couple of dud ones, and then you do some good ones, and then you pay the rent, or you pay whatever it is. And you can afford to have a nanny for your children, so that you can continue to work. And my daughter, who's here with me tonight, she came with me she came and visited me in Scotland on the set with a nanny, only because I could afford to have a nanny. You know, it's working is it's interesting in as much as you gotta stay very positive, and you gotta try and stay very healthy. And I think exercise is important. Thinking good, being positive is good as well. Eating not so much is even better.
All right, last question. Who thinks, you already asked one, so I'm not going to choose you.
I did.
Who has a terrific question they're dying to ask? But it's really good. Like, you're not going to embarrass me if I choose you.
What about me?
Even better, you're not going to embarrass Miss
you?
Ekland.
Okay.
I didn't ask.
Right there. Yes.
Just to kind of end where it started, when you sat down, you mentioned the ending. Just simply, how do you feel about that ending, ultimately?
I think there has never been a film in the last 50 years that have had a more brutal ending than this. I don't know if you can mention one. It's a very, very tough ending. Very tough. And, you know, the film is 50 years old, and to sit there and see the flames go up and hearing the animals. By the way, none of those animals were harmed. No bacon butty.
I want to thank Miss Britt Ekland.